Welcome everyone, this is Sideline Stories and I'm your host, Angry Peas. I am joined by, in the douchebag camera, Terry Tam at, is it Terry?
Terry Tam.
Terry Tam FPF?
That was hard to remember, I know.
It was pretty bad, his name and where he works. Followed by James Soriani, he can be followed at JFlowMTL. Because, see, what happened was...
That's not even it.
JFlow Music. Don't follow
JFlow Music MTL. Can you get anything right?
Well, because the thing is, I can never remember yours, so I forgot Terry's because I was like terrified of remembering yours. Okay. And of course, finally, on my left, I'm followed by. I'm joined by Simon Dashney, who can be followed at Dashney FPF.
Third time's the charm.
There we go. Gentlemen, in Yellowstone National Park, a tourist was fined $1,000 for leaving the walkway and collecting thermal water. Park rangers found the man, who admitted he did not read the safety information given to him when he entered the park. Still, he was informed there was a violation of federal regulations to collect any park resources. The man would be better served ordering new jerseys from Sportira, as it would cost him far less. Sportira, of course, is the official supplier of uniforms to FPF, and Sportira Cage, the home of FPF podcasts and Sideline Stories. So far, let's go through a couple of headlines before we get into the meat of the show. FPF writers look to present their mid-season breakdowns this week. I'm joined by two writers. Guys, have you started, and how terrible is it?
Yes, I did.
And how terrible is it?
Every year, it's as bad as the previous one. But this year is not so bad because I only have 26 teams instead of 104.
Yeah, it's better.
So I'm getting there.
Yeah, for me, for Div A and B, I'm going to split it up into two segments. So this week I'm doing Div A and Conference A of Div B, and then Div B...
There's 6 teams.
There's 9, actually, and it's good content for next week.
There's 6 teams in A.
There's 6 teams in A.
I know. And
you're the laziest guy I know.
That plays into it largely.
There's 6 in A and 9... I'm doing 15 this week, and then 9 next week.
So my point in all this is essentially it's a thing that the writers do that no one particularly likes writing because it's very time-consuming and very difficult to write, but the players really love it. So it's something
it's true that no one likes writing.
No one likes writing them, but the players of the league really do like it. So it's a way for us to honor the players who let us do this every week. Essentially, Badgers versus Bearskins in game of the week, guys. What do you think of that so far?
I like it. I mean, it's there's two. I honestly like it. The only thing is
good story.
The only thing is I'm bored of the same teams getting nominated for game of the week. That's the only thing.
I voted for someone else.
I voted for the other someone else.
I voted for Show Me Your TDs, and
I voted for that game as well. I think that's
no
a
fly
good
zone.
game.
I didn't vote for that.
The only thing with the votes is that sometimes like a team is so much ahead that it's only like between two, right? So you're either voting for one of them or the other, even though you want the lower like a game that has less votes, for example.
So it's like Canadian politics, where you're voting against people rather than for who you want.
It's like voting for the Pirate Party.
You're basically voting for
which I did this year.
Once someone pulls ahead, no one votes for the underdog.
But all that being said, more to football, Badgers, it should be a great game to watch. Badgers and Bearskins.
Last game of the week, of course, featured Supply and Command versus Gamecocks. Simone and I will recuse ourselves of this conversation. But what did we learn about Gamecocks in this game?
They are not from South Carolina.
They might be, though. We don't know that, James.
Yeah, we don't know that shit.
The one kid who's wearing Canadian's jersey probably isn't from South Carolina.
But then again,
I don't think half
started fooling us.
We know for a fact that most of their team is not from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Factual.
How?
Can't say on.
So
can't say on camera why.
Because why would they be here?
Can't say on
They
camera.
love winter.
I actually have a Gamecocks cap. So I'm gonna
awesome.
whenever
None of this is related to my question.
But I'm gonna be wearing that to a Gamecocks game this season. So Gamecocks, watch out!
What, you'll be at someone's game?
Yes.
You're gonna show up to the field. What do I think about having the game? It was honestly one of the better game of the weeks I've seen in a while.
Well, that was my question. Was this a good game in terms of how the teams played, or was it just close? Because a lot of times we confuse close games for good games. Was this actually a good game?
It was a great game because you saw a lot of. Supply and Command made Gamecocks they made them honest. You know, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of holes that you would never have seen in their offense, and you can't figure them out, right? So I think that Prezan at quarterback, you were able to see what he does, and you were surprised that Supply and Command were able to come back and command their defense against a really high power.
It's
basically what we do.
It's half of the thing.
It's half of the team, which doesn't make any sense. No.
Supply and Command. Well, they supplied it. They supplied a defense. And then they commanded it.
Yeah.
Finally, according to Mirror 3, according to the Mirror, 3 of the most misheard song lyrics are "We built the city on sausage rolls," by Starship. Hold Me Close Now, Tony Danza by Elton John.
Don't it down.
And Don't Go Jason Waterfalls by TLC. Simon, what's your pick as your favorite misheard lyric of all time? Chapman, we need this on the poll on Facebook, by the way.
I'm going to go with the Elton John one.
All right.
I got one.
Me, it's definitely the Jason Waterfalls.
I
because
literally thought
used to
it was
sing that
Jason, exactly.
in the car.
Chasing Waterfalls.
And my brother's name is Jason. So like, we were all in the car, and I would just like, Jason, what? And I would look at him, Jason Waterfalls, and like my parents were like,
My kids are stupid.
Yeah, you're dumb.
And
So-
Flojo Music Montreal.
And your parents honestly thought to themselves, "Man, we should have invested in condoms." Eagle, we have a tie. So what is it? Do you think it's is it the first one? Is it Hold Me Close Now, Tony Danza, or Don't Go Jason Waterfalls as best misheard lyric?
Don't go Jason Waterfalls.
All right, Jason Waterfalls wins it. Sorry, boys. So in the next part of the show, I want to talk about some of the winless and not necessarily winless, but also struggling teams as well, because some divisions don't have winless teams and some don't have many. So let's look at basically either 0-5 or 1-4 teams and talk a little bit about them.
So basically, any of your teams.
Minus one of them.
Cassé.
In Division E, we'll start there. We have. Simon, the way the show works is that I need to speak and then you need to listen, and then you respond to the thing I say, because the next part of the script is me talking to you directly. So, Simon, in Division E, the winless teams so far, Dirty Mike and the boys, Permian Panthers and Gronky Kong, as well as, there's also Face Jazz, who just won their first game. So let's start with the three winless teams. Can you talk a little bit about them?
Well, I'm surprised Dirty Mike and the boys are still winless. I've scored kept 2 of their games, and I must admit there's talent. Joel Lar is a very good player on defense. I was expecting him to be a much bigger piece of their defense. But overall, the offense is just struggling, and they need to figure their things out, because right now it's not working well for them.
Well, and he's learning that lesson that many of us have learned in FPF is just because you have played in the higher division, it doesn't mean you're going to be a good quarterback.
Or a good overall player.
Yeah.
Be able to keep the team together. Gronky Kong is probably the only franchise in FF history without a win. In
almost 2 seasons now.
Yes.
In a season and a half.
Yes, there's a franchise that went 0-10.
Yeah.
Does Les UR have a win?
They have 2 wins.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Shocking.
They dropped down in division and they changed quarterback from Nick Below to anyone else.
The thing about Dirty Mike and the boys is that without Jordan is that they would probably have mercied every single game.
Oh yeah.
Without Jordan at their team. Team. But there's a couple good guys that scored kept the game last week, and they have a few decently athletic guys, but overall, they're not good.
Yeah. Permian Panthers also got blown up 55-0 this week.
Yeah, that's tough.
So they're having a tough time.
That's tough.
Maybe that's
It's
an
not
exception we should make to go to FPF Junior.
It's not.
I don't know. That sounds creepy.
It's not 70-0 because that happened last winter.
Absolutely, with Lehuard, as James pointed out. In Division A, Terry, I want to get your pick because your thoughts on here, because we get James's every week in the article.
And he's usually wrong. Right?
There's that too. We're trying to make him look good. Legends and Monstars, not winless but struggling.
Yeah. So what I like about this is that Monstars are they have a set of cojones and they're going up for it. And I've said it all season. I said it the first Sideline Stories as well. I'm happy that they went up. Their one win was against Top Guns, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good team. That's a team that's beaten the finest and it's beaten. I forgot what it.
Rainmakers.
Rainmakers. That's it. So
Top Guns beat the ABE, not the finest.
AB? Oh, AB, exactly. That was
That's
the game
it.
I was watching, yeah.
All
On the
black
last play,
everything.
then the last play of the game was a tip.
Yeah.
But either way, they're a great team, man, with Rashawn and Jamil and stuff like that. So for Monstars to be able to beat them, and Rod Mashtub looks better and better every single game. I like the fact that that he is the focal point of the team, and he's taking it pretty much all on his back. And I'm super impressed with the Monstars. I like that. Legends, I'm a little disappointed. I think that with the amount of experience they have on that team, maybe Division A is a little too strong for them. They should go out and maybe recruit a little bit better. There's a few guys on other teams that could have been recruited to their side. I just think that with their experience, Corey Becker should be doing a lot better than 1-4 right now.
James, Division C, we see Evolution, Killer Bees, Keyport Lock, and Le Branleur that are winless. So let's take a quick look into those teams.
I mean, for Keyport Lock, for me, I thought this was a team that was actually going to find success in Division C. I thought they were going to be 6-4 kind of range. So to see them start off 0-5 is quite a shocker to me, considering who they have on that team. You have the Urides, you have Ryan Uridi, you have Terry. What's the last name? Gerville.
Terry Gerville. Yeah.
Terry Gerville, yeah, he's really good, and Jeff Rosenblatt has been playing lights out last year. So I thought they would step up in Division C and compete, but that's not been the case. If there's any team out of these four that I think can turn it around, it is Keyport Lock. In terms of the other ones, Killer Bees, I mean, they're just struggling right now. I think they're going to take a bit more time to kind of gel and make it work.
Sadly, time is not on their side.
Time is not on their side.
Not at all.
Blues Brandeur, we touched on this in the Div C podcast before.
So watch the Div C podcast as well.
So watch the Div C podcast. But yeah, they're just it's unfortunate, but they're not learning. They're just kind of making the same mistakes and not really.
They just never have
It's
the
just
same
like they
guys.
don't really care. You know what I mean?
Every week they don't have the same guys.
Yeah, so that's not going to help. And what was the other team? Evolution.
Evolution, yes.
And Evolution, I mean, you have some really good players on that team. You have a decent defense. You have some really good defensive pieces in Cutler and
They're just
Cummins,
not scoring though.
But exactly, Rick Cummins, the quarterback, is just not cutting it right now. So either they make a change there, or it's going to be a long rest of the season.
For sure. And in Division D, we have Pandas, Sticky Hands, Temsahe, More Money, Less TDs, and Get on Deck.
More money than cities actually have a win.
Simon, this is your time to speak.
Thank you.
Please tell us about these teams.
Well, we did give them the report cards this week in the Div D podcast, so you guys could go ahead and listen to that.
But for those who
Simon,
are just
let's
watching
go.
this show,
Yes, I'm trying to give myself
For
some
those
views
who
here.
don't watch the show,
But for those who didn't watch the show,
you should.
it's awesome.
Get on deck. Temsai Pandas suffer from the similar problem.
Well, no,
where
Pandas just have a cursed name. Like, you should never name your team Pandas. in
if
FPF.
they were
there hasn't
koalas,
been Pandas hasn't had a win. A team name with the name Panda hasn't win in FPF.
if they were named koalas, they'd probably have a win.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
But they all have the same problem. Offense is their key issue, where they put up less than 50 points in 5 weeks. All of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you win football games when you cannot even put up 10 points a week?
Yeah.
It's FBF. You need to put up at least 20 to be considered at least in the winning margin. And Sticky Hands, I don't even know what's wrong with them. Like, they have good players, but I just feel like they can't finish. They always good around half point, and then they just
But
struggle
they have
second
sticky
half.
hands, so they must have finished.
No, they don't have sticky hands.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Man,
They
that was good. Oh man, I gotta go with that.
but they live with the promise of sticky hands, but
that
yet
was good stuff.
unable to finish. I hope Rob doesn't watch this show.
That was
I hope
honestly
he does.
that's an untweetable GM. I hope
Yeah.
you're watching.
What about More Money, Less TDs?
Inconsistent.
They're good. No, they're good, man. They switched the quarterback. Ramin's been doing well ever since they started using him as a more running and less passing. He gets a lot of rushing yards, and their offense has been moving. And they got the win this week. They crushed our boys outline. So thank you, Gil. But
not much of a.
they have a good defense, and their offense is finding ways, and they're getting there. They're that kind of team that needed time. And
In Division B, we only have one winless team in Blue Chips, but we have a lot of teams at 1-4. We have Darksiders, VPC, and the Fat and Furious, Red Raiders, Casket Closers, and Gladiators. Terry, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on Blue Chips were they're an awesome team, and they'd be a really good team in Division D, and that's the reality. And the fact that they registered in Division
they
B.
compete in C.
No, they can't. The fact that they registered in Division B is, you're fine. You know what? Register in Division B, it's fine. It's just going to give everybody else a win. I just think that the reason to why they registered in Division B was a little weird to me. But going forward,
They want to beat former teammates.
That's it.
Yeah,
was the idea.
that's stupid because
But those former teammates play in other divisions as well.
Yeah.
So maybe target those divisions.
But
yeah.
you look at that's a great.
But they
point.
did also register late, and the only
They did
spot
register
available was in Division B.
No. Rob was saying that they chose to be in B.
They
had the option.
Fine, I'm okay
Yeah.
with
They
being
had
in
the
B.
option to choose. But
I'm okay with being in B.
no, but I'm not, because it's shitty for the other teams that are playing you guys. Number one.
But what I say is that
And I'll take a win.
I'm okay. Exactly.
Yes, but it
I'm okay with being
it
in
screws
B.
up the parity of B. Like if you look at B, like
James
any
is saying
team,
that
so
teams
bad.
will win
any
against
team,
them, and then therefore his team won't make the playoffs.
So mad
That's
right
a
now.
James-
I'm mad because we don't have him on the schedule.
Exactly.
No, but
Everything James says is about James.
Solves
No,
Exactly.
but on the
Everything.
reals though, like if you look at Div B, like any team could beat pretty much any team
Yeah.
Mhm.
on any given week,
Yeah.
other than the Blue Chips. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
To me, like that's shitty.
I just think that field the team, but make sure you field the team with guys that have played in this league before.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys that scrimmaged against them in the off season, and they're good at athletes, but they're not Division B caliber. They might have played some sort of tackle football in the
They're not
past.
flag players.
Their
It's a
they're
flag
not.
league.
Their quarterback's actually. I like the way he plays, but he doesn't have the weapons and he doesn't have the knowledge of FPF to be able to
'cause
come out with victories.
it's a very different league from tackle leagues and even other flag and touch leagues.
That's it.
What about some of the 1-4 teams?
Well, the thing about VPC is I think that they're quarterback heavy, and that's pretty much where it ends. Robbie Robinson.
He's not heavy.
No, but you know what I mean. Robbie Robinson is a great quarterback in this league. Unbelievable, and
He's
he's
fantastic.
He's one of the best players to watch in this league.
To make happen what he makes with those receivers.
That's it.
The-
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
The thing I will say about that is I watched the game against Laval's Finest, and what I noticed is his top two receivers are actually pretty good. Honestly.
Shaq Dimanche.
Yeah, Shaq and the other guy.
Andrew Blades.
No,
Andrew
no.
Blades.
Dan Dick?
Huh?
Dan
No,
Dick?
no.
Bobby Spaghetti's.
Another black guy. I don't know his name. I don't know his name.
I don't know all their
But-
names, but yeah, I think I know.
So
Those two were
this
really
podcast.
good. Those two were really good. And
he's another. He's the other.
what
he's
what
the-
I've noticed is that his receivers do have great hands. Like they'll
Yeah.
catch the low balls, but the thing is like the other three they can't really create separation. So it's really in the route calling
But-
and buying time and stuff. So it puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback. For
It's
sure.
also route running. It's being intelligent enough to know
Exactly,
your routes,
yeah.
to know where to be, find the zone.
But
And a lot of
VPC
these
itself
defenses-
has only ever had 2 receivers.
Yeah, so they combine themselves with Division 5A team. So the Fat and the Furious were in 5A last year. I don't think it was the smartest move to go to B. C would have been a good move
Because
for them.
Rob can't
can't
throw
throw
in
it,
lower
I-
divisions.
I understand,
So
but
you have to stick with
there's get somebody else on your team at that
Mhm.
point.
I watched the game when they played against Fun Boys where
Yeah.
they lost by 1.
Yeah.
They scored on the last possession. They went for 2 for the win, and Robbie hit Shaq straight in his chest, uncontested ball, dropped. They lost.
That's what it is, man. And then that's a conversation that we'd be having right now. If Fun Boys had lost, Fun Boys would be in the bottom because they only have 2 wins as well. Glads for me is a team that's they're not performing. Alex Lever, great quarterback. Frank LeBeau, good receiver, not a great receiver. I think they should have went to A with Frank at quarterback. That jump is is important. Playing against them this week, you saw the weaknesses, you saw the struggles that they have, and
You see the difference a quarterback makes.
yeah, and on
Any team.
defense, other than the rush, I always forget his name, but he's pretty good. Overall, I think that they're not a B level, and they're
But
gonna
their
struggle the
defense
rest of
is
the
B
season.
level though,
Their
because like
defense
they're
is-
not giving up many points.
You're right about that. But against the only thing as I'm looking at is that are they going to be able to compete? Do I see any wins going forward? Looking at the record, their schedule, I see 1 or 2 wins, but that's the best I can see.
Mhm.
And it's sad to say that because the Glads are always a team. Well, they were a team that were in the finals, in the semifinals every season, and it's sad to see that happen right now.
Of course.
Matt,
Okay.
more, oh, you want more?
No, just
I can
don't
go
have
more
any
if
other
you want.
thoughts.
I can go more. Red Raiders. Red Raiders beating Quan first week of the year, and then being garbage the rest of the way. Mike,
No offense.
no offense. Mike Roy, you're playing on 3 teams as a quarterback.
2.
3. He's playing in B, C. Sorry,
2. B and C.
B
No
and C.
name
I think
and-
he subbed in for a team. Anyway, he's playing on B and C as a quarterback. Maybe you should have eased into a little bit more because you can see the rust.
Yeah.
And before, Mike Roy was a decent quarterback, but
Mhm.
decent.
It was a long time ago,
A
though.
long
5
time ago.
years.
A long time ago. And coming back to play against and playing B against tough competition, your only win is against Ambassadors of Quan, who was like a makeshift team that had 1 scrimmage together, and you figure they're gonna get. Now they're just torching everybody. So. You got lucky with that 1 win. I don't see a win going the rest of the season. 1-9 for them.
Really?
So,
What about-
James,
Yeah.
is it always a case of just registering for the wrong division, not being at the right level of competition?
That's tough to say because it's such an ever changing league that I find that divisions are not the same year in and year out.
Mhm.
Like you'll have a season like for example, like last season B was only 10 teams, right?
Yeah.
It was
Last summer, yeah.
it was very compact and like very good 10 teams. But at the same time, like now it's expanded. There's like 19 teams or 18 teams, sorry. And like for every division just gets better and better and better. So it's tough to gauge like where you're supposed to sign up or if you're supposed to, whether
Yeah.
you go up or whether you go down. Like I find it's hard to gauge sometimes. But definitely as a new team, for example, the Blue Chips, you should not register in B.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I'd say just try to improve. Like every season, aim to go up 1 level.
Yeah.
Terry, the teams that are really struggling, what do they have to play for week in and week out?
You try out new guys and see what you're gonna do. Maybe for the winter to go in Division 3, or if you see if you can be able to add somebody new to go in Division 2. Sorry. But what I look at is just have fun. This league is made to have fun. We talk. The podcasts are here. We can be critical and all these things, but we all want to have fun. So there's no point in not coming out and not showing up or being lazy or whatever the case may be. Come out, give the teams that are still in the playoffs a run for their money and make them earn it. Just like James said, it's not fair that the blue chips who aren't B level are playing against every other team except for his. You know what I mean? So, no, I'm just saying is that there's some teams that are there to
they have 17 games.
Don't make it don't make it easy on other teams. I think that teams like the blue chips come out, maybe try a few guys that that are in C or in D. So they can just fit on the roster. Guys that are really good players that don't get the notoriety.
They could fit any given player.
You can legit
so low below the cap.
You could put Kevin Wyeth, Marco Masotra,
you could probably put
Kevin Moore. You could put all three of them on the roster and you fit.
Because of the cap, they couldn't, but they could fit
just
Kevin at quarterback with them,
yeah,
and get something going. But he doesn't fit as a quarterback.
With those three players, you can still fit on the roster with the rest of their core.
Probably.
And so I'm just saying is that they're all newbies. Try out a few new guys. The same thing with Red Raiders. I like the way Rob builds his teams. He builds on teams that guys that are going to show up, that want to play, that want to win.
But the Raiders, again, that's a team that has the defense has been pretty good this year.
Pretty good.
Right? So it's like they're not giving up many points, but they just can't score. Same thing with Casket Closers.
Yeah,
same thing with them.
And Casket Closers, I'm a big fan of Casket Closers. I just don't think they have it this year. So that's a team that, work on what you have to do and maybe find a guy that's going to replace somebody else in your team that's not that good, that's not cutting it. I saw they had tried out, what's his name, Benevito from Division D. From Division 5.
Benvenuto.
Sorry, from Division 5. He's a quarterback for St. Lunatics. I saw that he played with them one game, so that's good. Things like that, that's why I like that we can get the guys from the lower divisions that don't get the press or the notoriety, so put them in your higher divisions.
Simon, what's an easy adjustment for most teams? That they're happy with their personnel, but what can they do in game to change their fortune?
The easiest thing I could say is keep it simple. People would always try to be fancy and do these fancy things and try to make it look so good, but just keep it simple. The best play I could tell anybody to play is Hot Looks. Sounds stupid, but it works and everybody runs it. Why?
Hall Ooks.
Yes. Hot Looks.
Hot Looks.
I literally did not understand a word you said.
All hooks.
Yes. It's the easiest thing you could do.
Yeah.
Simon gets Frencher as he gets more tired through the evening.
I thought that was like a new type of defense. Like,
Seems like I need to look this up immediately. So guys, there's a lot of teams built largely through free agency. We've also dabbled in it as captains of teams and as in some cases as players just as free agents and being added to teams. So I want to look at some guys specifically. But before that, can teams built largely on free agency work? Like one example that comes to me is Evolution, and like 3 or 4 of the names we're going to look at later actually play for Evolution. So like can a team like that work?
Well, just so I can jump in, 5-star is 3 guys, and then they built everybody around free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Jordan, Moses, Dylan Daou, and Jeremy Anderson. And then Jeremy just brought a bunch of guys. He put it on Facebook. He put it on the wall on the free agency list on the website, and he found guys that wanted to play. I think he even used Craigslist one time. You know what I mean? Like, no, but Jeremy does that.
He did get one prostitute, yes.
He did get one herpy. And
it's better than multiple.
That's it, yeah, exactly. No, but Jeremy does that, and that's great. I love that you're bringing new guys to the league, right? So, and these guys are not bad. There's this guy Tyson Wen that plays for 5-star with them in Division D. He's pretty fast. He's a smart kid. He knows what he's doing. So I mean, things like that, I like that. And but you can't build your team solely on
I feel like you need a core, and then you can just add pieces that you're missing. Like if you have like 7 players and you need an 8 for whatever reason, you could always find them free agency, feel what you need.
James and Simon, you guys have had mixed experiences in free agency. I think James had the best ever free agency when you guys won the championship. I think it was Division D.
4.
No, we've never played in D.
4.
We
Whatever
won
it was.
We won in 4. Yeah, we picked up. Who did we?
Jacob.
So our free. Well, I mean, Jacob was like a friend. Like I was a friend. Yeah. But yeah. So
but he was posted. He had posted on the free agency, as far as I know.
No, not Jacob. No.
Okay.
So, but pure free agency. There was Darnell. There was
Darnell,
Era, Lovelace. There was Era.
I played at both.
Era.
One tackle, one flag.
Ekmekjan.
Ara
Ekmekjan.
So guys, it doesn't work if you all talk at the same time.
Ara Ekmekjan.
Ekmekjan. And there was another player. I'm not thinking. Mathieu Brunet, who was like another friend of a friend.
Wasn't there Timo Basketball?
No, he didn't win the championship with us that year.
Oh, okay.
No, he came.
So wait, three major pieces though. Of
the
your
3
team.
major pieces, but then the next season, like we lost those pieces, but then I added Simon through free agency.
Yeah.
And then that's obviously worked out pretty well. So Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if you're scouting well and you get lucky, like, you know, you could making a team through free agency could definitely work.
Was Darnell late to the free agency though?
Simon,
Is that even a question?
Simon, any horror stories from building teams through free agency?
Horror stories. Honestly, not really. I've been really lucky. Everybody I picked up from free agency has stuck around. I've been good players in my teams. I don't remember.
For some reason, they've stuck around.
Yeah, I don't know.
They love rocket launchers.
I'm a charismatic guy.
They go to war. They go to war every game.
Yeah.
A rocket launcher.
Let's go through this.
Terry, I remember you told me a story about how you had posted in free agency.
Yeah.
In your second season, I think, in FPL.
It wasn't my second season, but it was when I played for the Vipers before the stats even existed.
so then it never happened.
Before the website
So it
existed,
never
exactly.
happened.
But we had some big guys coming from the Vipers, right? So with Narek, Ara was on that team as well. Narek Isayan. And when that team kind of blew up, we didn't. A lot of the guys don't want to play anymore. Our quarterback Miles Gibbon, I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. He ended up playing with another team as well. So I wanted to play. You know, there was nobody in my friend. None of my friends played football. I wanted to play.
You don't have friends.
Yeah, no.
Just that too.
I love you guys, man. So I put it on the wall, and I got a call from this team called the Predators, who was it wasn't your Predators. It was
It was
a
the
sub-team-
Predators in that,
the
in that
Predators.
sense.
Exactly. It was a sub team of the Mercenaries, not the Mercenaries. Anyway,
Good story.
Mike Roy was the quarterback of that team, and then so they had another team with a father and his son, and there was Stephen Free. I don't know if you play in this league long enough. You know who Stephen Free is. And we made a team, and we think we finished 3-7. I had a great time playing with those guys. The team, and Stéphane Chartrand actually was on that team. And we had a good time, and, you know, you make some connections. The year after, they didn't put the team in. But because of that, another team saw me play. And then from then on, if you look at my FPF list, I think I have like 25 different jerseys. You know?
I'm surprised you only had one rupee.
I only had one. And, yeah, so it was fun. I loved using free agency. I use it to this day.
So, lesson to players, of course, being go out, try it out. There's nothing to lose. So I want to talk about some guys who did post before the season and were added to the team, and in some cases just were added to a team because they were known to be available.
Yeah.
So one guy is Gary Jean T from No Regard. Hasn't had a huge impact, but James, you do cover the division, and you know some of the guys in No Regard personally. So what has he added to the team?
Nothing.
Good story.
Straight up nothing. I mean, I see Travis every game with Legends, and he's saying how, you know, he's having kind of he's struggling to kind of adapt to the game. And honestly, like when Preds played No Regard week 1, I literally just threw to whoever was lining up in front of him. This is not to tear on him, but this is just to say,
it's like Terry said though about blue chips, is that it's a hard place for new players to start and to be, because you can be as athletic as you want, but you need to know this league.
Yeah, and apparently he plays like high level tackle somewhere, but you know he's a huge liability on their defense. But you know that could just be an issue that could be worked out in due time. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much after that.
Simon, a guy you know fairly well, an outdoor quarterback, Gab Wiseman, quarterbacking Super Troopers in Division E.
Yeah, they picked him up because they was looking for a second team to play in. He wanted to play quarterback. He wanted to go through the whole... the more you play, the better you get, right?
A team who did not pick him up, by the way, Grunky Kong. Maybe you made a mistake.
But no, Gab Wiseman's a really nice guy. If you get to talk to him a little bit, you can see like he's a genuinely nice person. The Super Troopers picked him up after he had a conflict with another team, and it's been working out well for them.
Awesome.
He's a good quarterback. He's successful in D, so he should be successful in E. And he's not the kind of guy that's going to put pressure on his receivers to succeed. Like if you drop the ball, he's the last guy to tell you about it. And I find it's like the perfect fit for Super Troopers.
Joey Watson and Frank Atola added to Evolution amongst the slew of free agents acquired last minute for the team that was entered last minute. How's that worked out, James? For Evolution.
I mean, looking
They're
at
currently winless.
looking at the record, I guess like it hasn't made that much of an impact. But you know, that being said, it hasn't been their defense that has struggled. It's mostly been their offense, and that falls a lot on the quarterback. So I mean,
defense is on like 75% of the time.
Yeah, and they're still not giving up that many points. So it's you know, I guess they've done their job to the best of their abilities.
And Mario Chueri, casket closers. Terry, can you weigh in?
Yeah, so he's a great snapper. He was actually gonna he was recruited to snap for Ambassadors Aquana until they found Paul Lapierre.
Okay.
They were looking at him.
You mean after they cut you?
Yeah. So what happened was I got cut, and then they were going to bring Shueri in. No, but he's honestly a gain for casket closers. He's a super smart guy. Plays very well. He was in this league before, and he took a hiatus. But honestly, he's a very good player as well. And it's a big gain for casket closers, the fact that they were able to sneak in an underrated player like Shueri.
Simon, Pat Gariba for Crusaders, again, winless, but Pat Gariba is a guy who's played, Division 4, Division 5, and playing now Division 6.
Any guy that played the higher division is always a solid addition because he knows things that the rest of the team doesn't necessarily
Like, even
know.
if they don't help you in that season.
Yeah, no.
Like, I remember
you learn a lot.
I remember for me personally, when we added, say, Alex David to Punch Panda, we were 09-1. Next season we went 7-3.
Alex
David,
David,
it helps.
the best offensive coordinator in the league, or what?
He helped a lot of guys.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
helped a lot of guys who are new to the league, and this is a guy like Pat Gariba can come in and share his experience and help them develop. I think that's where he's truly going to help Crusaders. Matthew Rene for the Kings, James.
Looking
That's-
lean, Matthew Rene.
That's
Looking lean and mean.
lean and mean, but
Not
yeah, no,
mean.
that's worked out brilliantly for them. Matt Renee's a guy who is a great quarterback in this league, and I find he's adapted to the flag setting a lot better, and you could see that he's building chemistry week in and week out with his guys, and very very solid addition, and makes them. I mean, they obviously have a solid team around him. He can't do it himself, but it's definitely like he fits that system well, and he makes the Kings a dangerous team to play.
For sure. And James, I know you like talking about yourself, but I'll ask you not to chime in on this one. James Floriani added to Legends. Simon, what do you think of having James there as a receiver?
Probably the worst decision that I've ever made.
This guy.
I just don't see it. James is a terrible receiver. He has no experience in the division. Legends are a veteran team. They don't need experience
That's why they're
like
1-4.
James. They added
That's what I was thinking.
They added a bad receiver who drops a lot of footballs, and this is what happens.
And he
You're
doesn't know the
1-4.
rules of Survivor.
No.
Four TDs in 4 games. Calm down.
No, this
He does like talking about himself.
We ask you not to speak.
Because people don't know he's like half kidding.
no one cares but
What do you mean
trees.
half kidding?
So this is why I said I was disappointed in the Legends when they were 1-4. Reasons why is because they added guys like Chavez Moses and James Floriani, 2 really good players that are achieving, but the team is underachieving. So he can have 4 touchdowns a game all he wants, but they're going to be losing. It doesn't make a difference. But classic J-Flow.
We're losing close games though.
Close
Like,
games, yeah, you know
one
what?
point loss the other day.
Cool,
like,
James. Remember when I asked you not to talk about yourself?
Talk about the
Talk about the team, man. Put the
I don't care about your thoughts of your team. It's
James,
irrelevant.
A loss is a loss.
No, but I just
by
think
1,
that
by 10.
this goes down to another thing where you build with new guys, and Corey Pecker's learning how to throw to you, and maybe at the end of the season you guys
it's
finish
building.
5-5.
Obviously, he's very very comfortable with Love.
James! It's that thing again.
He's very very comfortable with Ryan Love.
You just got shut up. Shut off your mic.
This just made Silent Stories so much better.
Silence stories by
No.
James.
Trying to be the operative.
Silence.
So guys, very quickly because we're running short on time.
Hello.
If you
One job.
because we're running short on time, I'm gonna ask you each a question. Sort of, if you were commissioner for the day in FPF, this is something Rob Campana, commissioner of FPF, asked several times in sort of other segments of previous shows and stuff we would do in FPF. So we decided to bring it back sort of like 5 or 6 years later. So, James, since we rudely cut you off, what improvements would you make to FPF? Currently, like, are there any pressing things bothering you that you would change instantly? Like week 1, Rob, you're gone. Get on my face. This is what we're
other
doing.
than fire, Simo.
Well, that's. I mean, I think that goes without saying.
We'd all do that, though.
You get rid of Simo Dagenet as obviously a media member and as a
Retroactive.
player because it
He just
just
makes the league look bad.
So much
exactly
So
it
much
brings the quality of play way down. No, but on the reels though,
Sure, James.
it's incredible just season by season, season after season. There's just so many things that are added to the league, whether it be in media, whether it be on the field, whether it be, anything else. Like it's incredible. So, the one thing that I would say is that we've been talking about the scorekeeping app for like 2-3 years now.
Since
So
2009.
I would definitely like to see that incorporated soon.
Yeah, it'd be very
It was
good.
the 11th commandment, I believe.
Oh, that was it.
Because
Yeah,
it updates
so-
live, right? So
Yeah, that would be awesome to add to the league.
And like honestly, like people who haven't been in the league as long as us don't know the waiting 3 days to get stats.
Yeah.
So it's already up
Yes.
really quick. But man, like
now
why
it's-
not do it?
Jeremy
instantly?
Anderson
Now it's
complains that it's not up
300%.
right after his game.
I
I'm
know.
like, let's relax.
You
Mo's
guys-
still here. Okay?
you guys don't remember.
He's not home yet.
You guys don't remember like that it would be up like on Thursdays.
Yeah,
It would
yeah,
play on
You don't.
Sundays.
I've been in this league
Yeah.
since 2006.
Yeah.
You don't remember
It
anything.
was so bad. I
So
remember.
so Terry,
One thing I'll change.
no, not necessarily one thing you change, but like where do you see the future of FPF?
The future of FPF is it's in the kids, like it's in the junior program that we have, and it's something that Rob instilled, and I like it a lot. You're seeing young kids coming up. You guys added Jawan. We added on our Div 5 team Josh. I can't forget his last name though. Keep forgetting his last
One
name. Anyway,
job.
and overall, I think that it's going to grow the league, and the league's going to expand. I mean, if Pease can coach a junior team, anybody
Yeah, I
can.
know, right?
And it
Fairly successfully. Yeah.
you guys lost in the finals.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's why I said, that's why it was fairly successful.
That's it. Yeah, fairly.
And then I recruited the opposing quarterback to play for me.
So,
in,
so
in
basically,
FPF.
Smart.
you coach the same way you play. You just lose in the finals.
Cursed. It's the Panda
Shots
curse.
fired.
Simo, wildest FPF dream. Not
What?
wettest, wildest.
4 refs per game.
Never gonna happen. So that's
You
it is
said
wild.
wild.
Why? I find it's better
Oh.
refed when there's 2 refs rather than 3.
No,
Because they're
true.
focused more.
Almost,
No,
I
not
think
true.
I agree. I think I agree with that.
Not
when there's-
true. When
yeah.
you have 3 refs in the playoffs.
Anyway, either way, it
there's
was
no
it
dead
was
zones.
Simo's wildest dream.
Yes.
Um,
so no one cares about yours. Then.
Guys, so we're gonna play our looks like game one time to end the show here. We're bringing in Ryan Phillips, a guy who's been around the league, plays for a lot of teams.
No one knows him.
Currently playing with me. So if you haven't seen Eagles bringing him a picture, if you're just listening, you can go ahead and look for him on the FPF page. If you're
can
driving,
Facebook him.
don't do that.
I just thought of a good one.
You can Facebook
Um,
him at Ryan Phillips.
So I'll start with mine. Ryan Phillips looks like the guy who goes to Tim Hortons in his bathroom and mutters incomprehensibly as he waits to order his double.
That's a good one.
I also have Ryan Phillips looks like the only guy who still wonders how they got the caramel into the caramel bar. And finally, Ryan Phillips looks like the love child between Conan O'Brien and Lady Pac-Man.
That's a good one. To me, Ryan Phillips looks like the guy who asks for a sip of your bottle of water, salivas the entire thing, chugs it, and then gives it back to you.
That's fair.
Classic.
Finishes
favorite.
it. and give it back to
Unusable after.
you. Unusable.
For me, Ryan Phillips looks like the head of the Geek Squad from Best Buy. He
What?
just-
That's a good one.
That's
a good
awesome.
one.
That might be his job. I never asked him.
We
have no
don't know
idea
what he
what
does
Ryan
for a living. To me, Ryan Phillips looks like the guy that still hangs out at high schools and like 90s basketball gears. I still got this. I still
Slam
got
dunks
this.
on kids.
Still his Letterman jacket.
Woo! I got this. Yeah, that's Ryan Phillips. Man.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's how it feels if you play with him, by the way.
He could be Jonah Hill from Superbad too.
He could be that too. Jonah Hill's dad.
Yeah,
So with that, guys, I bring this episode of Sideline Stories to an end. Thank you, Terry, for all your analysis. Thank you, James, for talking whenever you wanted.
about yourself?
Thank you for Simon for clearly not reading the script.
What script?
Thank you, Chapman, for your absence.
I like how you actually looked at where he's supposed
where
to
you
be.
should be. Thank you for that. Eagle, of course, thank you for all the wonderful work you do. And thank you for adding the scroller this week.
Wow.
And continuously adding to the scroller as we went on. I hope you did that because I can't see.
So much brown nose.
Well, because I wanted to not quit. I talked so much trash to him at the beginning of the show that I wanted not to quit. And of course, thank you all for letting me bring this.
Puberty.
Puberty.